Okay, so really quick before the video starts, I just want to let you know that this is the, one tutorial from my Akuma Academy series. So I basically have multiple other tutorials available right now on my Patreon. If you want, you can check them out. There are like 5 other text tutorials and the full header tutorial, final effects, how to get renders, how to cut out renders, how to use AI to get better quality images. All this stuff, it's available on my Patreon, so just click the link below and you can get there. So first you want to open up Cinema 4D with any Lightroom that you get. So once you open up Cinema 4D, you can just type in any name that you want right here. I'm just going to type in planes. To change the direction, just press on the text right here and then this icon, so you can drag it by holding down the left mouse button. And then you can just drag the text however you like. Then you can press here again and then select any font. I will just use this font you can see right here for this tutorial and then change the spacing a little bit so it looks better. What we want to do now is to create a special effect by pressing C on your keyboard and then pressing right here, as you can see. Now you have all of the letters selected in single layers, so you can change the direction and position of every letter by itself. So therefore you can simply customize the whole 3D text a bit more. And I'm just going to do this now. So just get them closer together, easily, and rotate them a little bit so it looks more alive and more custom also. Okay, something like this should work. So now what you can do is press on render to picture viewer. Then simply press on file, save as. Okay, and then wherever you want to save it and give it a name. Now you want to go to every letter and select it, put in 0 right here, so you lose the 3D effect, and you have to do it for every letter. So just do that. And once you're finished, again, render to picture viewer, no. Wait a little bit, then file, save as, okay, and then give it a name. Now you can close it up and don't save for the next time. Now just import it in Photoshop. Merge the group together and just give it the name or text or whatever you want. Make it a little bit bigger so you can see the text more clear. And then what I like to do is duplicate one and just hide it in case you mess any step up. You can always go back. So now we got this. What we want to do now is open up the folder, duplicate the 2D and the 3D layer once. Okay. Then go to the 2D layer first on filter, exposure software, and then iCandy 7 plugin. Here you want to go to Chrome and then select strong flame as effect. You can just use the preset or mess around with the settings if you like. Just wait for a little bit and then you want to do the same with the 3D layer also. So again, open up the filter, go to strong flame and press OK. Now what you want to do is press right click on the layers and rasterize them to save your PC some capacity and performance. Then press Ctrl and U to color it, basically. Just press colorize and then select any color that you want. In this case, I'm going with red. Simply hit OK. Go to the other layer. Again, Ctrl and U. This time put the saturation down, maybe also a little bit darker. Now make the opacity a little bit lower on the 3D layer. Go to the 3D layer below, so the below 3D layer. Duplicate it one time and then drag in any random image or wallpaper. And then make a mask, so press Alt and merge these 2 layers together, right? Now you want to go to filter and then in the filter gallery. There you want to use the Chrome filter. And it depends now for the settings on which image you dragged in. So basically you want it a little bit smoother than it's right here. So just play around with the settings until it looks round about this, or maybe even a little bit less effects, but that's okay for me now. So just hit OK, and then again, rasterize if you want to save some performance for your PC. And then go to the blending options, and you have multiple options there. I'm just going with soft light right here. You can see before and after, right here. Then duplicate this layer one time, drag it above the other 3D layer, and then put down the opacity a little bit. So it looks like this. Okay, so now go to the layer below, the down 3D layer, and make it a little bit darker so you get more contrast. Once we've done that, you can again rasterize to save some performance for your PC. Okay, so now duplicate the layer below the low 3D layer one time, last time, and drag it above. Now paste the layer style. I'm going to show you the settings right here. So this is the bevel emboss settings I used. And this is the Z settings. Simply copy these settings and then just press OK. Put down the fill to 0. And it should look like this right here. Now you want to go to the 2D layer and maybe make it a little bit darker, the red. So it looks like this should work. So go to the above 2D layer, duplicate it one time, put down the fill to 0, then go to blending options, and we need inner shadow. So there you can mess around with the settings, right? I'm just going for something like this, and then the opacity a little bit down, so it looks more 3D-like. As you can see here, the shadow is coming from above. So let me just find the perfect settings. That's good. So just hit OK. Because we need some chrome outlines. Therefore you want to duplicate another 2D layer, put it above, fill to 0, blending options, and create a stroke. About this size should be fine. So hit OK. Rasterize layer style and put the... Okay, so now we got this. So go back to filter and then open up the exposure software iCandy7 plugin again. But this time we don't want to use the flame. We want to use some other chrome, for example, gentle mountains. So you can see right here, it's got this chrome look. Wait a little bit, then Control and U again. Remove the saturation. You can see it's already a little bit visible, but not enough. Okay, so now duplicate this, put down the blending mode to dissolve, so you get a look like this. The layer we have below, you want to go to blending options, and then on outer glow, and just make a little bit of the dark shadow, as you can see right here again. But be sure to make the fill not too big. So the size not too big, actually. Now let's create the effect where you have some letters in color and some without. So there you need to navigate to the red layer, right here. And then duplicate this layer one time. Press Ctrl and U to remove the color on one of these layers. And also make the lightness a little bit low so it gets this kind of dark, cool, moody effect. Then just apply a layer mask and paint over with a black brush on all the spots you want to leave in red. Let's just go for something like this right here. That's fine. So yeah, should work like this. Now we only have the effect on these two letters right here, but we added a lot of contrast to the whole header doing it. So you can actually see, no, it's better if it's like this. So just leave it. You usually want to have the first letter, so the big one, the P in my case, highlighted. So in my case, it's big and red. Maybe you can also have it as the only letter with color or the only letter without color. It's up to you. But make sure to highlight the first letter. Let's now create some highlights. So Therefore, I want to first make them on the 3D text, so I'm grouping up all the 3D layer elements by selecting the first layer, then holding my shift key and then pressing on the last layer, group them all together, then create an exposure layer, clip it together with Alt and then between these layers. Then let's just put up the exposure first and then again use a layer mask and only paint over with white on the spots you want to have highlighted. And then another exposure layer and make it darker on some spots. Same procedure right here. There we go. Now the same goes also for the 2D layer, so group it together. Then simply make another exposure layer. And paint over on some spots. There we go. Now we have all of these layers combined or grouped together already, so press Ctrl and J to duplicate everything and then convert it to a smart object. Now drag it below the layer you had before, make it only a little bit bigger, remove the color, go to Filter, Blur, and then Radial Blur. Put down an amount that is not too high. Then go to Filter, Filter Gallery. And here you want to select the halftone pattern. Something like this should work. And then put down the opacity way lower. Duplicate this layer one time. Hide the filter gallery. Turn down the opacity. Rasterize the group with the filter gallery. And then change the blending mode to overlay. Duplicate the whole folder again. And then simply go to blending options and to bevel emboss. There you want to create an outer bevel. Again, you can copy my settings here. Hit OK, and then turn down the opacity a little bit. And then you have something like this. And in the whole header together, it will look like this after the final effects, of course. So you can see that's how you create this effect right here.